Hello, and welcome back to our September Bible reading. Today is the 27th as of this video, and now we're reading chapter 27 of Matthew. We're going to just read 27 and 28 together, so as soon as I'm done recording this, I'm going to do 28 right afterwards. Reason why is because 28 is real short, but 27 is long, and yeah, so here we go. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away, and delivered him to Pontius Pilate the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself, and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, What is that to us? See thou to that. And when he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed, he went and hanged himself. And the chief priests took the silver pieces and said, It is not lawful for us to put them into the treasury, because of the price of blood. And they took counsel, and brought with them the potter's field, and bury strangers in. Wherefore the field was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled what was spoken by Jeremiah, the prophet, saying, And they took the 30 pieces of silver, in price of him that was valued, whom the children of Israel did value, and gave to them the potter's field, as the Lord appointed me. And Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Art thou king of the Jews? And Jesus said unto him, Thou sayest. And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, Jesus answered nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, Hearest thou not these many things that witness against thee? And he answered him never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. Now at that feast the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would. And they had a notable prisoner called Barabbas, son of his fathers. Therefore when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto him, Whom will that I release unto you, Barabbas, or Jesus which is called Christ? For he knew that the envy they had delivered him. For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. And when he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife said unto him, saying, Have nothing to do with that just man, for I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude they should ask Barabbas and destroy Jesus. The governor answered and said unto him, Whether of the twain will you that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. Pilate said unto him, What shall I do then with Jesus that is called Christ? And they all said unto him, Let him be crucified. And the governor said, Why? What evil has he done? But they cried out the more, saying, Let him be crucified. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See you to it. Then answered all the people, and said, His blood be on us and on our children. Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into a common hall, and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. And they stripped him, and put on him a scarlet robe. And when they had platted a crown of thorns, they put it on his head, and a reed in his right hand, and they bowed the knee before him, and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! And they spit on him, and took the reed, and smote him on the head. And after they had mocked him, they took the robe off from him, and put his own raiment on him, and led him away to crucify him. And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. And when they were come into a place called Golgotha, that is the place of a skull, they gave him vinegar to drink, mingled with gall. And when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. And they that crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled which is spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon them my vesture they did cast lots. And sitting down, they watched him there, and set up over his head an accusation written, This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Then there were 2 thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand, and another on the left. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads, and saying, Thou that destroys the temple and builds it in 3 days, save thyself. If thou be the Son of God, come down from the cross. Likewise the chief priests, mocking him with the scribes and elders, said, He saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the King of Israel, then now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now, if he will have him, for he said, I am the Son of God. The thieves also which were on the crucified with him cast the same in his teeth. Now one of them would change his mind later on. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness all over the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? From Psalm 22, I believe. Some of them stood there. When they heard it, they said, This man calls for Elias. And straightway one of them ran, took a sponge and filled it with vinegar, and put it on a reed, and gave it to him to drink. The rest said, Let him be. Let's see where Elias will come save him, Elijah. Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent. And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. Now when the centurion and they that were with him watching Jesus saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, Truly, this was the Son of God. And many women were there, beholding far off, which followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering unto him, among which was Mary Magdalene, and Mary the mother of James, and Joseph, the mother of Zebedee's children. When the evening was come, there was a rich man of Arimathea, named Joseph, who was also himself was Jesus' disciple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn out in the rock, and had wrote a great stone on the door of the sepulchre, and departed. And there was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sepulchre. Now the next day that followed the day of preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate, saying, Sir, remember that the deceiver said, while he was yet alive, After 3 days I will rise again. Command therefore that the sepulchre be made sure until the third day, lest the disciples come by night and steal him away, and say unto the people, He is risen from the dead. So the last error shall be worse than the first. Pilate said unto them, You have a watch, go your way. Make it as sure as you can. So they went and made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch. I don't know, often you see it's like, oh, it's a watch, there's like 2 guys, but realistically, it could have been a lot more than just 2 guys. So, that's that. Chapter 27, but we have one more chapter to see what happens with this stone and everything. All right, we'll see you for that tomorrow. I'm going to record right now. Goodbye.